I'm Gabriel Belmont, your friendly neighborhood Dracula. So, we've beaten the entire main campaign, including all of the trials, which we'll do at the end of the LP. We've beaten Chapter 12, the final boss, but now it's time for the DLC in Chapter 13.
Ooh!
We're going to find out exactly how Gabriel became the Prince of Darkness.
It seems like only yesterday that I stood there upon that cliff top, looking down into the abyss.
And since Zobek is no longer our best friend, Gabriel is the one doing the narration.
We're gonna miss you, Zardoz. You and your kooky mask.
Had been a hollow victory. Now I was on a journey.
Well, at least he admits it.
A journey that I could never imagine in my darkest nightmares. As I stood there contemplating my fate, a voice entered my thoughts. A cry for help that I could not ignore. A debt was owed. A life for a life, and what was left of my broken humanity felt obliged to do the honorable thing. To repay that debt.
To sign on for 2 more games.
I realized that none of us has any real control over our fate. We are like leaves on the wind, to be blown wherever we may.
Now, the last guy who said that got a spear through his chest.
So they didn't have as much of a budget for the DLC, so most of the cutscenes are just really highly stylized concept art. But I kind of like how they did it. It looks cool.
It's nice. Yeah. Well, Gabe, you gonna just spend eternity on the mountain, or are you gonna come down from up there?
Hear me, Gabriel. I need.
So when I joked earlier that you would have to pay to find out about what happened to Laura, I wasn't joking. Except I got the price wrong. It was actually $10 instead of $5.
Ah. Now, is she really worth $10?
Well, you get the DLC for free if you get the Ultimate Edition on PC. It's definitely worth playing for free. I don't think it's worth $10 per DLC on the Xbox Live Marketplace. I was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Although, to be fair, it could be $10 Canadian, because I just looked it up on the Xbox Live Marketplace.
Oh, this is actually very cool.
And so he traveled to Rohan.
Laura, the fires of Gondor are lit!
So, the DLC does not make the best impression. This is clearly just the entrance hall to the castle from Chapter 6 with a frozen makeover.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the DLC does have some pretty significant problems, but recycling maps is not one of them. This is the exception to that rule.
Oh, hi guys.
They did also make some changes to the combat. For example, you can no longer just grab to win against the ghouls. You have to stun them a little bit first before you can grab them, which makes them a bit more dangerous. It also makes corpses a bit more dangerous when fighting against them.
Does not make the combat any less visceral.
Agreed. Also, Laura's gonna fight alongside us.
Ooh.
She's a pretty good fighter. She basically serves the same role as Zobek did in Chapter 5.
She's gonna go around and Palpatine people.
Yep.
You attack me.
She's actually a really good fighter, I gotta say, especially because her lightning attacks are very long range, for the most part. Although she does have a lot of sound bites that get very repetitive very quickly. Also, this is Ultimate Shadow. Unlike Ultimate Light, it's very
Whoa.
targeted. It does a lot of damage to one specific enemy. And you aim it sort of like you did the shoulder bash. So you have to aim it with the left stick.
You think you can beat me?
I like her a lot more when she's not crying about a chess game.
Yeah. She actually does sound mildly threatening now. Emphasis on mildly.
I'm gonna teach you a lesson.
That lesson being, I don't know, calculus?
More like electrical engineering.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. In the concept art, she has some sort of sewing needle that she uses to conduct electricity. It's really weird.
Huh.
It's not in the final game, though.
I'm glad you came.
That makes one of us.
Follow me.
Oh, no. Ah, come on. It's chessboard again.
What, you thought we'd see Laura again and not have her play chess?
Alone, betrayed.
Angry that we have to play chess again?
That isn't true. Or you would not have spared me that day.
Do you now regret it?
You called me here. Why?
To play chess.
Lords of Shadow, but in doing so, you have unleashed a greater evil.
Lords of Shadow 2!
A powerful demon is coming.
$20 worth of DLC.
Mercy, who is bent on destroying this world.
His name is Konami-chan.
For the Lords of Shadow, there was a fierce battle here. The
You're kind of cutting in and out there. I don't know if it's affecting your recording or not.
forgotten one,
It shouldn't be.
Alright.
had been summoned by the
Anyway, this is important. We should be listening to this.
who owned the castle at the time.
Oh hey, the Bernards are showing up again.
Badly wrong for them. The Forgotten One escaped its bonds.
Because people forgot about him.
Not the Forgotten One. So they waited for their opportunity during the fight.
And then quickly forgot about him.
Dimensional rift that they created.
I am gonna run this joke into the ground.
This fortress
If anyone complains, you can just forget about it.
built a new area
Forget about it.
to house the creatures.
Hey, bada bing.
Hey, this great demon that's been unleashed. Just go sleep with the fishes.
Transcended its
Forget about it.
process, creating the Lords of Shadow. It was not by chance that my mother chose this particular castle.
She was a big fan of backgammon before realizing that the castle came with a chessboard.
What would happen if the Forgotten One should ever escape? You have destroyed them, and so the power that kept the Forgotten One locked within his prison has been weakened. It's
Oh, Gabriel.
matter of time.
You continue to fuck things up even after you've already fucked things up the worst. And you're not even Dracula yet.
Then you are a
Gabriel, we wouldn't be here right now if you would have just stabbed Laura.
and revenge for centuries.
Well, no, that's the problem. He did stab Laura.
Everyone will die. There will be nowhere to hide.
No, wait, never mind. I'm mixing her up with Claudia.
We are the only ones with power enough to stop him.
All these women who were stabbed.
Have the souls of the innocent on your conscience for eternity?
Then show me what I must do.
Mother once told me that the entrance to the ancient fortress of the Brotherhood was in this room.
That's convenient.
Oh, is this gonna be one of those you have to put the chess pieces in the right places?
Nope. Nope. Sorry, Laura. I'm getting out of here. You can't force me to do this again. No more vampire chess bullshit. I'm getting out of here. I know my fate. I know I'm gonna turn into a vampire. Hey, what are you doing, Laura? Stop following me. Stop it.
Curse you, invisible walls!
I don't want to play your chess game.
We must find the entrance, Gabriel.
Fine. Alright, so this one isn't nearly as bad as the actual chess. You did call it earlier. We have to put the pieces in the right order, but it's actually not that bad of a puzzle, all things considered. We have 3 hint scrolls. Or hint tapestries, I guess. And the real trick to it is that the tapestries are all... they're not hanging the right way. So you have to use the question marks to figure out where everything is placed. I'm glad this guy hates vampire chess too.
Now I only have to figure out where each piece goes. Damn it, I starved to death.
So the DLC also has its own set of collectibles. They're actually somewhat story relevant. So anyway, we just have to look at the 3 tapestries and figure out where the other pieces are supposed to go. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Although I will admit, I appreciate that MercurySteam are doing their best to at least try as many new ideas as possible in this DLC. This will be a recurring theme. They don't always get it right, but they do at least try. You know, A for effort. You know, C-, D+ for execution.
I mean, that's a solid B.
Yes, 1500 experience that I can use on all of the moves that I've already bought.
So what you're trying to tell me is we've completely screwed up the economy in this game.
We made it entirely obsolete.
I feel like if they were going to give you experience points for some of this stuff, they should have given you something to spend it on.
Or at least they could have made the moves a little more expensive, or something like that, so you didn't have like all the moves at Chapter 6.
Yeah.
Evil is drawn to this place like a moth to the flame, and I could not at that moment deny that I myself had returned. Now, as I look back, I see the crooked path that I had been set upon all those years before, leading me inexorably to this moment. I can still see her face in my mind's eye. Poor dear Laura. Such a sad tale as ours. A tale of heroes who strove to save humanity.
A tale of swords and souls. Oh, sorry, wrong game.
A Tale of Two Cities.
Wrong country, sorry. I wish this was Dickens, for crying out loud.
Remains of the original fortress.
So, welcome to original content.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I really like this area. At least the look of it.
Oh my god, it's the Brotherhood's Bat Cave!
The waters are infested with horrible things that will eat you. You cannot cross by swimming, but maybe your magic boots can help.
Yep, they even have some new enemies. Although, kind of like the Naiad, the spawns of Leviathan are not actually killable. They're more like living obstacles.
Right, so this stream is catch and release.
Yes. Although, if you do fall in the water, there's a special cutscene.
Not sure how he was buoyant with all that shit on him.
Come on, it's not that hard. Try to sprint over the water.
I decided to leave these in because there's a couple of interesting, funny lines that Laura says when you repeatedly fall into the water.
We do not have all the time in the world, Gabriel. Have you tried sprinting over the water? be better than this.
Oh, Laura.
Suddenly, she's my favorite character.
Yeah. Laura's sissiness in the DLC is really great. I like it. Certainly a lot better than the little girl childishness that she had in the original game. So a couple of things while we're here. First of all, I want to apologize about a couple of things that I said about the controls in the main campaign. It turns out that the controller I've been using for several years now, I knew that it was a knockoff Xbox 360 controller, but apparently it was much more of a knockoff than I ever realized. To the point that the analog part of the analog stick was wearing off, and I was basically just using a D-pad with an analog stick attached to it. So a lot of the bad things that I've been saying about the intricacy of this game's movement control was all basically fixed overnight when I had enough money to purchase a PC-compatible Xbox One controller, which is what I'm playing with now for the DLC, and the movement is considerably smoother with that. That being said, the platforming in this section is a little shaky. You may have noticed some fades and dissolves there, where I had to cut out parts where I fell in the water repeatedly, or otherwise fell in other places. Anyway, here's the first Frankenstein finger in this level is over here.
All right.
I'm surprised they didn't have crumbling ice platforms before this, but they're new in this DLC.
I am digging this.
Yeah, it is kind of frustrating to play at points, but it certainly looks nice. I mean, that might as well be the tagline for this whole game, really.
It looks good. Good luck seeing it.
Yeah, Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Much better to backseat game than to actually play. And everyone's favorite part of Lords of Shadow, the balancing minigames.
Now that you have the new gamepad, that's gotta feel better, though.
Oh yeah, like the balancing minigames in particular are much smoother.
It's amazing to think that this place has always been under the castle.
Alright, so this next scroll is very important. It won't be really relevant until next video, but it is important.
Time machine?
Based on the work of Dr. Emmett Marron.
Please tell me Marron is some language for brown.
Yes, Marron is French for brown. Yep.
We went there.
Yep. I mean, they already made that Day of the Tentacle reference, where Hoagie was part of the Brotherhood of Light. So I mean, at this point, why not? Not to mention those two Portal jokes. I mean, would you expect nothing less?
I enjoy it. There's those little bits of tension-cutting, tongue-in-cheek Easter eggs are just beautiful in this game.
All right, so for those of you who are watching at home, unfortunately, Roy is cutting in and out of the of our Discord call, so there may be points where I may not be able to hear him properly. So if there's a joke that he makes that I don't laugh at, it's because I'm not hearing him. Anyway, we're playing as Laura now. So Laura has a couple of unique moves. In fact, all of her moves are unique to her, and she even has her own little animations. She doesn't have that many moves, but she's pretty fun to use. I actually like her a lot. Not as much as Gabriel, but she's still fun.
Oh, you actually get to play as her.
The direct heavy lightning is basically an unlimited lightning attack that she can use to keep ghouls at bay. Area lightning is a slow but powerful charge attack, and at max, it can kill everything in one hit. The mist form is what really makes her unique. It's an unlimited dodge, and it allows her to play a distance game with her enemies.
Excellent.
Yeah, the mist dodge is really fun to use.
Oh, she can go through fences.
Something that you can also do is that you can cancel out of the area lightning charge with the mist dodge, which makes Laura a lot more mobile than you would expect. So here's the other part: so she can grab an enemy and suck the blood from them. And it's a little mini game, but you don't want to suck too much blood for reasons that I will show off in a little bit. I will eventually show off the powers of area lightning, because area lightning takes a little time to charge, but it does 450 damage at full charge. Basically kills ghouls in one hit.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah, Laura is not that much fun to play at higher difficulties, but on normal, she's really cool. Although I do wish that she had enemies other than ghouls to fight, just for the sake of variety, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, she only has ghouls. So you may be wondering why you don't want to suck blood of enemies for too long. This is why. Because that happens.
What the hell?
Yeah, she gets a little too excited and then she loses about half of her health. So remember, kids, when you're sucking the blood of your enemies, don't overdo it. Just for your own safety.
I think I love this part of the DLC.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite parts, just for the variety of it. Basically, we did all that just to break a chain with lightning. It's just so mundane. I just love it. So now we're going to switch back to Gabriel. And I also really like Laura's line immediately after this. Have a listen.
Do not leave me alone ever again.
Alright, so there's another Frankenstein's finger behind this wall of ice here. And then we will proceed to the next platforming gimmick of the DLC, which is one of the more interesting ones, but it's also incredibly frustrating.
Those are the remains of the original tower that the Founders built here. The Forgotten One is locked up somewhere inside.
Oh boy.
I would tell you where, but, well, you know.
I forgot.
Yes, thank you for ruining the joke. That was meant to be implied. Yeah, this next puzzle it's very interesting. I like the idea, but it's awful. The execution is just terrible. So you see those panels on the wall.
Okay.
You have to use you have to sort of parkour your way across and try to hit all of them within a certain amount of time while you're using the grapple. It's a neat idea, but the controls just don't work. It took a good couple of minutes for me to get it right, and this is when I knew what I was doing.
What the hell?
Like, if you don't know what the game is trying to get you to do, this could easily take you like 15-20 minutes. Just this one puzzle.
$10 on the Xbox Live Marketplace, folks. Wow.
So this is, you have to kind of like make sure that every time you wall run, you sort of like go down at the same time, sort of gingerly wall run down. Like I said, it's a neat idea. It's just not done well at all. The Bayonetta music does help, though. Alright, on to the next puzzle set piece. And the final one for this level.
I can give power to this mechanism whenever you need it.
So, Laura is able to control the power on these blades. No particular reason why, it's just a mechanic. Now, I am not doing the DLC trials. I have suffered through all the trials in the main game. That was enough. That already was a test on my sanity. But I'm not doing the DLC trials. The DLC trial for this one is to go through the entire game without overcharging the blade speed, which is what I'm doing now to power the blue blades.
So do the whole thing without moving the blue blades?
Yeah, which is possible.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I decided to leave some failures in just to really hammer home the utter frustration that this puzzle brings. It is just, even when you give Laura the proper commands. Also, of course, they put a Frankenstein finger here at the bottom in the complete opposite direction of where the level exit is. So the Frankenstein's finger is in the bottom right. The level exit is over to the left.
I will give it to them. This is at least clever.
It is. It's just not executed very well. Also, I had a pretty close call coming down here over to the Frankenstein's finger. Oop, that was close. Anyway, I think we've seen enough of this bullshit. I decided to fast forward.
The rest, yeah.
And with that, we are 2/3 of the way done already with the first DLC pack.
I think the theme of the first DLC pack is solid B+.
I think you're giving it too much credit, but all right.
Well, they get a lot of things right. The level design is very nice. I mean, they're reusing textures, but they're not reusing entire chunks of maps after the first one. The sense of scale is still spot on.
Yeah.
The Laura section, very well done.
I have a more negative view of the DLC because I had to play it, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
That being said, I went into the DLC with memories of it that it was bad but still palpable because of the interesting scope and ideas. But those memories quickly soured as I replayed it. Let's say.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice that the next video is almost as long as the previous one, and that is just the last level by itself of DLC 1. So that should give you some idea of how this ends.